Shalom. All praises goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahushai, who's the God of the Israelites. Double honors goes to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who have taught us this truth. And much love and peace and blessings goes out to all you hopeful elect brothers that are teaching the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in truth and in sincerity. So basically there's going to be a lesson, man, and I'm entitled Esau is sending, or I'm going to put it out, not Esau, I'm going to put it, the Most High is sending Esau on you niggas, all right? Because within the past few weeks here, you have all kind of news about Donald Trump sending out federal agents to these different cities, and pretty much the storyline is that due to the increase in violence of these inner cities, they're sending out these agents to basically quell the violence. Because what you have is a lot of Negroes and even other people of other races, but the ones who usually get the blame are you so-called Negroes that are committing violent crimes. And that is a characteristic of Jake. You are a murderous people. When Jake actually gets involved with, trade and buying and selling, like Jake, whether they're dealing in their own community, for whatever reason, and I should even say because of the curses that's put upon them and the type of nature, type of spirit that Israel has on them without the word of the Most High, they're easily get offended at each other, and they get offended at each other's actions. And this leads to them actually killing one another. Like there'll be feuds and disputes. Like you got the Bloods versus Crips, all these gangs, black on black violence, black on Latino violence. And it really stems from the type of spirit that Jakes has on them. This is a murderous, evil spirit for them to hate their brother. So then whenever they feel as if they've been done wrong by a different Israelite, and sometimes it'll be justified, because sometimes, you got niggas in the hood that have sex with each other's women, and they'll kill another Jake behind that. So that's actually, there's nothing wrong with that. But thing is, they'll kill each other for owing each other money, or, they just go to the extreme of anger and hate, whether it's like a verbal altercation, and start shooting each other over stupid stuff. When you look at the bottom line, most of the time it's not over something righteous, it's over stupid stuff. It's over money and jealousy and covetousness, man. And pretty much what it surmounts to now, 2020, even though this is Donald Trump sending in these troops, not these troops, but the federal agents in these cities, everything happens through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because if I may read this precept, just to prove that the heart of the Lord is in the hand, the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord, as the scriptures say. All right, and it says that here. Where does it say? The king's, Proverbs 21:1, it says the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. And who's the current king of America, so to speak? Though we call him president, it's still likened unto a king because he's a ruler. It says, as the rivers of water, and I'm speaking of Donald Trump, Salakia. It says he turneth it whithersoever he will. So though, you have these jurisdictions and powers that rule over people, the Most High is the one controlling them. The Most High is the one implanting thoughts into these men's minds to actually do these different things, like sending federal agents and open up the country, close the country. Like Donald Trump at different times he'd ban the travel to different countries. That's the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that does these things. That's the Most High. It says the Trump administration has sent some 200 federal agents in Kansas City, Missouri, and that's out here where I'm at. Because I'm this is the Great Millstone Kansas City camp, and as it stands, you pretty much on a constant basis, you hear stories out here, whether it be on the Kansas side of Kansas City or the Missouri side. Like, you got the inner cities, the 20s and the 30s and the 50s. You got Wyandotte, Kansas, man. Just like the average inner city of these different countries, of these different cities in America where you got Jake living, they're killing each other. They committed murder. They have guns and drugs, and they're just taking each other out, man, at a crazy rate. It says the Trump administration has sent some 200 federal agents to Kansas City as a part of the initiative to quell violent crime. The rollout of the operation has been marred by misinformation, and some local activists say it's wrong-headed at best, but others applaud the added help from Washington, D.C. to fight a desperate homicide problem. With Trump dispatching heavily armed men in camo and body armor to Portland and other cities, there has been keen interest in what has been characterized as a surge of federal agents to Kansas City. The operation here is fraught politically, but those involved say it's important to clarify what Operation Legend is and what it is not. This is not Portland, says Tim Garrison, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Missouri. This has nothing to do with anybody's exercise of their rights to protest. Which these devils, they try to pull the wool over your eyes as if to not ruffle anyone's feather with this presence of agents. But the fact of the matter is, this devil, he has draconian he uses draconian measures, draconian laws. He's all about taking away people's rights, no matter which way you want to slice it, whether it's Portland, Kansas City, Chicago, New York. When you see presence of Edomites and their rule and structure, they're trying to take your life. It says, we are simply here to address the unprecedented level of violence that is exemplified by the senseless and tragic killing of legend Taliaferro. And that was a little Jake boy, 4-year-old, that died June 29th, because niggas was out there shooting each other, and he ended up getting caught in the crosshairs. And you got stories like that come out a lot. Like, there was another little boy that died. He was I believe he was only like 3 or 4. He got caught in the crossfires. I believe his father's house got shot up and the boy died. This was like 2015. I forget the little boy's name, but that's out here in Kansas City as well. It says evidence supports Garrison's claim. No heavily armed, unidentified federal operatives have clashed with demonstrators during recent protests in Kansas City. 4-year-old legend Taliaferro was killed by a bullet fired from outside while he slept in his bedroom early on the morning of June 29th. Police believe the apartment was targeted, although no arrests have been made. So pretty much the little boy is in there sleeping, got taken out. And that's tragic, man. And we know, all in all, above everything, it's the judgment of the Lord, because the Lord sets up these different scenarios so that he can, when you look at it, he can bring even more judgment. So he's gonna basically end up in one swoop getting all these niggas that's like-minded like this when these agents come down and they basically fucking lock you up and throw you in a FEMA camp. That's what these federal agents are basically here for. They're here to put a lot of you to death. And even though in this particular scenario, it may amount to just an increased police presence or a lot of more Jakes with guns going to jail, but eventually, we know it's gonna ramp up to FEMA being called in, martial law, and you niggas end up getting put down like the monkeys you are, man. Because you Jakes are you're a bunch of reprobates, man. You like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, they just want to kill each other and commit adultery and break all the laws of the Most High. So the Most High is sending Esau on you. So let's go down. By the way, the mayor of Kansas City is a nigga named Quentin Lucas, man. He's a damn nigga, man. He's a coon. This is Kansas City has logged 107 homicides so far this year. That's more than many entire previous years. and on pace to break the city's homicide record of 151 in 2017. About 3/4 of the homicide victims this year have been black. And usually, and when it says black, it's talking about you Judites. Because Kansas City has a high Judite population, you know, and because none of our people are black. When it comes to the so-called African American, they are truly, because that's a false term. We're not really even African American. We are Israelites from the tribe of Judah. So basically, let's see if I can skim through and see if it's anything else. Good on here. So let's go down. It says, last December, there was similarly focused initiative called Operation Relentless Pursuit, which involved similar objectives and similar agencies. But the COVID-19 pandemic caused Operation Relentless Pursuit to wind down early, according to Garrison. Garrison says Operation Legend. So look, when it comes to the tactics of Esau, what he's doing, he's eliminated you Israelites. That's what he wants to do. He wants to lock you up, throw you in prison, and have you be a 13th Amendment slave. Because he's the one that put the guns in your communities to begin with. So in his mind, he doesn't really care. It's not as if he cares about the violence. It's a simple fact he needs more slaves to boost his system. It says, Garrison says Operation Legend is something of a reboot, which has since resulted in more than a dozen arrests. Activist Sarah Shaw says one of those arrests, the apprehension of Jonte Johnson last Thursday, demonstrates how enhanced law enforcement can traumatize people in the black community. Cassidy Jordan, she's 27 and has a 7-year-old daughter, is an example of a collateral consequence, Shaw said. Her child's father was arrested, but not for murder, but for gun and drug charges, and her daughter had federal agents pointing a gun at her and her mother. So this shows you what spirit Esau is in. He claims to be coming into the city for, people convicted of murder, but he's just getting you jakes with guns and drugs. And and you jakes out there, you're deserving of this judgment. But the thing is, these Edomites, they don't really care about the fact of it's Jake versus Jake traumatizing each other. Otherwise, why would they stick guns in the direction of two people that was supposedly innocent? They wouldn't have done that. So it's not about that. It's just about locking Israelites up, locking young Jakes up, so you can be part of the prison system, and you can make them some money. You can go and work for you could work for Victoria's Secret for 72 cents an hour. You know what I mean? So let's go to a few scriptures. This is Psalm 125 verse 3. It says, "For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity." You see, so unless the righteous, which is Israel, does iniquity, they don't have to worry about these different police and everything like that. Like that damn, what it mentioned, that activist woman Sarah Shaw said how these agents traumatize so-called black people, but that's what they're there for. They're meant to traumatize you, because the fact of the matter is, if Jake wasn't out there being niggas, the cops and everything, federal agents, military forces wouldn't have to be called out. So this is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 21. It says, how is the faithful city become an harlot? It was full of judgment, righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers. So that's the spirit of Israel. They're a bunch of murderers. When you are amongst Jake, the spirit they got on them, when you go into these parties and so forth, they got the spirit of jealousy. So they'll look at their brother, though he may not know, they may be a group of Jakes, 4, 5, 6 on one side of the room, and then there's another group, and they hating on each other, looking to slay men. That's how they feel. They don't greet each other with open arms. They say, who the hell is this nigga? If this nigga say anything to me, I'll pull out the ratchet. And that's how they deal. They'll pull out the strap and shoot you and kill you. It says, thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water. And that, what does that represent? Low quality, man. You Jakes are low quality. You're like silver with dross, meaning you're low level silver. Your wine mixed with water. Well, you wouldn't want to drink wine mixed with water. You want the good stuff. If it's mixed with water, it's defiled. It's not right. So likewise, you Jakes, you're not right. It says, thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts and father after rewards. And that's Jake's spirit. That's why they sell out. You know, that's why they basically follow after wickedness, because they get the reward of wickedness. That's why they don't have a problem with selling drugs to their own people and robbing and, you know, doing home invasions on their own people, because it yields rewards for them. They don't care. And they love that rather than loving the Heavenly Father. And that is what's going to reward them death. It says, they judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. And that's how you know this whole Black Lives Matters is a bunch of bullshit, because they march and protest for a bunch of niggas that get killed by the cops, but they don't do this for the Israelites that actually kill each other, for Israelites that are, this man, his wife committed adultery on him. What Israelite of the 2/3 is standing up for that? What Israelite is standing up for the 400 plus years of oppression that our people have? And when I'm talking about Israelites, I'm talking about the 2/3, the Jakes in the world. Which one of them are standing up for the oppression that our forefathers faced? They don't really care about that. They care about the here and now. It says, therefore saith the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries. And who he's calling you Jakes his adversaries, and avenge me of mine enemies. I will turn my hand upon thee and purely purge away thy dross and take away all thy tin. So how's the Most High gonna purge us? Well, the elect is being purged through trials and tribulation and the belief of Yahushai. But the 2/3 are getting purged through judgment and getting put to death. And that's what the Most High is going to bring upon them, is death. It says, so this is Psalms chapter 78, verse 8. It says, it might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High. And that's the spirit Jake is in. They're not steadfast with the Most High. They ain't on the Most High's team. They don't care about the Most High. They care about, wearing the Balenciaga shoes and listening to Lil Baby and shit. That's what Jake is care about, And that word for steadfast, when it said their spirit was not steadfast, is amun, which that's the Hebrew word amawan is derived from amun. So basically it means to be stable, to be joined to. That's the same word you get a stability. In other words, they can't meditate, or their heart ain't fixated towards the Most High. They're not, when from day to day, if you could do an analysis on what Jake thinks upon from day to day, where their heart is, or their mind is towards, is their spirit is in riches and wealth and women and false idols like the Christian church, or idols like celebrities in Hollywood, or their idol could be themselves. So in the Most High, what the Most High is going to do, he's going to destroy Jake. You know, he's going to definitely destroy you niggas out there that have this spirit of murder and not wanting to come back to the commandments. Because pretty much the only way out is through Yahweh Shai. The only way out of this judgment the Most High is bringing is through Yahweh Shai. I am the door. What it say? This is John chapter 10, verse 7. Then Yahushua said unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. That pasture represents basically the peace you have in Yahushua, the ability to know yourself, to know to know your power, man. The ability to partake in the Most High's covenant again. It's only through Yahweh Shai. But the thing is, when you are of that pasture, because, you know, of the sheep, when they're grazing, they're eating up the grass, so to speak. So when you go through the process of believing in Yahweh Shai, when you go through that door, so to speak, in the metaphysical, you're transformed. You start to not think about Jake in the murderous way and have that adulterous spirit or that thieving spirit. But Jake, they're not getting right because they refuse to acknowledge Yahweh Shai. So when the end all be all is you Jakes are gonna get put to death. So Shalom.